Hey G fans, GoGFan93 here as well as Super Godzilla Gaming, and welcome to our third of an 8-part series of our Godzilla retrospective. Today we will be looking at the handheld games of Godzilla, so let's begin. To start, do you guys remember that Gojira-kun game in our first episode? Well, this is the sequel/port of that game onto the original Game Boy in 1990. The game still has the same goal of dodging enemies and dropping boulders onto them.
What's funny is the plot of the game. In the Japanese version, the monsters captured Godzilla's girlfriend, named Vegeta, and Godzilla has to rescue her all Super Mario Bros. Style. Well, without the platforming element and more punching rocks. And by punching, I mean a fist coming out of Godzilla's mouth. Yes, that's still a thing. But in the American version, it's roughly the same plot, just replace Godzilla's girlfriend Vegeta with Minya.
Okay, next is what I like to call the handheld equivalent to Godzilla on NES. I say that because it has the same side-scrolling style as Godzilla NES, but the game does move a lot slower and it's not as fun. The game was released in 1993, developed by Bandai, and was only released in Japan.
The game does have many monsters from Godzilla's history, like Batra, Mothra, Hedorah, Megalon, and even some less popular monsters like Gabra and Gorosaurus. Not too bad for a monster roster.
Next we have Godzilla Giant Monster March, released in 1995 for the Sega Game Gear. This game has an interesting gameplay style. Once again, it's not necessarily running around destroying buildings, as it has the strategy gameplay style to it. Seriously, what's with Godzilla games in the strategy genre?
When the game begins, the player has two choices to pick from. You can either play as Godzilla himself or the military. If you choose Godzilla, you must destroy buildings and other kaiju on each level. If you choose the military, your job is to obviously fight off Godzilla and other kaiju. The fighting mechanic comes into play when both monster and military are in the same spot. Then the game turns into a battle mode similar to a 2D fighter.
Now we move to the Godzilla 1998 movie tie-in games. Well, actually, to be more specific, the animated series. There were two games on the Game Boy Color, Godzilla the Series and Godzilla the Series Monster Wars. Do you want to say anything, Super G?
It's alright, Goji. You can do this one.
Ah, damn. Okay, well, the game is a 2D side-scroller where you play as Zilla Jr., fighting off the military. In the game, you don't really control Zilla's movement. You mostly just aim the cursor to blow up the military. Long story short, it's not that fun. Next, please. Okay, let's move on to our last two games for the episode, and these are some good ones. Next, we have Godzilla Domination for the Game Boy Advance, released in 2002 as a handheld counterpart to Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee on GameCube and Xbox.
This game has fantastic visuals, music, and controls. It plays similar to King of the Monsters, so it's definitely one of the best fighting Godzilla games out there. Heck, it might even be the best Godzilla handheld game to date.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, actually I did, because I wrote the script. Last, we have Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash, released in 2007 as the handheld counterpart to Godzilla Unleashed on the Wii and PS2. Now, some people might not like this game, and we can see why, but I do enjoy this game in small bursts.
Yeah, despite the very blocky visuals, the game does have a certain charm to it. With the stylized look and very funky music, this game is a hidden gem. The gameplay can be fun and addicting, and the boss fights are really awesome.
This is another 2D game similar to Godzilla NES, where you can choose between two monsters to play through the campaign. Actually, this game is very similar to Godzilla on NES, as you can select Godzilla as your ground monster and Mothra as your flying monster. But there are other monsters to choose from as well. Well guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Tune in next week and we'll be taking a look at Godzilla going into the third dimension. Till then, stay big, G fans.